automatically.
Yes.
You know, it just kind of blows my mind.
We're also like taught to embrace that criminality.
Yeah, we are taught to embrace that criminality.
You can get stripes for going to jail, and you can get tattooed that shows that, and you be praised and heard.
Yeah, because you're more of a man then. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Popular culture, white culture, American culture doesn't allow for that stuff.
Yes.
It kind of does, because there's a subdivision within that culture that does see that as valued as well. Mm-hmm. But for black men, it's all supposed to kind of be there. You're always supposed to have that rebellious. You're supposed to have that hustle. You know, you can work within the system as much as you like, as long as you step out of it a little bit. Because if you completely submit to the system and you stay in line, then you're an Uncle Tom.
And that's
you're a sellout if you make it successful. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a sellout and an Uncle Tom. That's really what they are. So it's just really interesting that's the type of masculinity that we're shown. You know, it's not just the hurtful forms that are hurting males' mentalities and body and views of their body images and stuff like that by saying they have to be hairy. You know, you have to have visible toned muscles. You have to do all this and that. Plus, you still have the added responsibilities of caring for your family, making decisions, doing all that stuff. But black male masculinity also has you be rebellious.
Yeah, but here's another thing that you always hear is, I get mine. And that doesn't include anyone but you.
Yes, but I also kind of feel like that's part of the hustle, too, because how do you get yours?
And then
how do you get yours without education? And how do you get yours without working the system?
You're right.
It's hustling. So if you hustle, then you can say you get yours at the very least. And that's the type of thing that...
I guess I'm trying to focus a bit more on the division of masculinity, because there's this predatorial side of, I get women, and you're not a man unless you get many women, and like you can never settle with one woman if you need to get multiple women to be considered a man. And
yes, with that as well, but once again, that still kind of falls within the hustle, you know? Yeah. Because the system tells you, and the way society tells you right now, it tells you monogamy. So a hustler would never settle for one. He needs many, because he needs to be able to trade. He needs to be able to lose a few and still have some. He needs to be able to do all this and that, make moves. You know, you make moves with your money. You make moves with your women. You make moves with your possessions.
Yes.
So you have multiples, so that you can make multiple moves if you need to.
Yes.
And that's kind of where the promiscuity comes from within the black culture as well. Because you got the hustle, so you got to hustle everything. Always be willing to drop everything you have and gain more. To gain new, to have nothing, but to have everything.
Yeah.
Outside of the system.
A contradictory, a paradox, if you will.
Yeah, like it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. So we're going to stop here and introduce a new segment. This segment is called Self-Expression, and the idea came to me where I wanted to talk about the black experience, but I cannot speak for every black man, and I can never be enough to testify for every black man. So I found clips of people that talked about their experience. I think multiple versions of this can give you an idea of a black person's life in certain aspects. So, without further ado, here's the new segment. Da 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 dum 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 bam. Da 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 dum 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 bam bam. Ba da da ba dum dum da 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 boom boom da 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 da. Welcome to Zone Black. For the video today in Self-Expression, we found a clip of Chris Rock, and he's talking about his general experience. And
here it is.
I'm going to let him talk. Say it again.
Here it is.
When I worked at Red Lobster, when I worked at, Odd Lot or Alexander's or, the Daily News, I wasn't working my way through stand-up. It wasn't like, that was my life. It wasn't like a kid working his way through school and they know, okay, when I get out of school, it'll be good. That was my life. If I work at UPS, I'll be really lucky. The day it clicked to me, I went to see a comedian at a Radio City Music Hall. A big famous comedian at the time. As we're leaving, my brother goes, "You're that good. You're as good as that guy." And it didn't dawn on me that I was so happy to be out of Bed-Stuy. You know what I mean? I was so happy to not be a busboy anymore. I didn't think, I could play Madison Square Garden or any of that stuff. I'm fortunate to come up in the time I've come up in. I've been able to reap the rewards of not only my work, but Richard Pryor's work, Bill Cosby's work, Eddie Murphy's work. I have a picture in one of my offices of Cosby, like a young Cosby with like a fedora and a cigar, like as cool as they come. And if you actually read the Richard Pryor book, Pryor Convictions, every time Cosby shows up in the book, he's actually the coolest guy in the Richard Pryor book. My daughter Lola goes to sleep with a little Bill doll. That's so cool, man. Like, how much I love Cosby, and just like actually both my daughters sleep with little Bills. Eddie Murphy revolutionized acting. No one says that, but he really did. I just remember the way black guys used to act before 48 hours. And there was a sidekick way of acting that Murphy didn't incorporate. And Beverly Hills Cop, I don't know, it was just so effortless. And it's almost not acting, you know what I mean? Before that, black men would, it's very earnest and, I'm representing my race. And Murph kind of just made it, hey, I'm Axel, here's my badge, what's going on? The thing that black culture is missing, it's not the comedian thing. Somebody will be that guy. The real question is, when are one of these black girls gonna get their Streisand on? It's like, yo, I'm really about to set it off. I'm writing a movie, I'm directing a movie, I'm starring a movie. I can't wait to meet her. I can't wait to work with her. I can't wait till I meet the female, Tyler Perry. That's gonna be the next level. In my neighborhood, there's like 3-4 black people in my neighborhood in Alpine. And, it's me, Gary Sheffield, Mary J. Blige, Patrick Ewing. Hall of Famer, greatest R&B singer of our time, decent comedian. Who lives to me? What's the white man next to me? He's a dentist. He didn't invent anything. He's just a dentist. That's what America is. My dad used to say this. You can't beat white people at anything. Never. But you can knock them out. Like, if you have 6 and the white guy has 5, he wins. If you're black, you can't let it go to the judge's decision, because you're going to lose, no matter how bad you beat this man up. Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney is the perfect example of life. Larry Holmes beats the shit out of this guy for 11 rounds. He knocks him out in the 11th round. They had to stop the fight. The man is bloody. He's been beaten the whole fight. They go to the judges' scorecards. Larry Holmes is losing the fight. If he didn't knock him out, he would have lost the title. And that is essentially the black experience. You're always black. There's always going to kind of be an overreaction one way or the other regarding your presence, be it good or bad. Just when you let Jackie Robinson in baseball, that doesn't mean it's equal. Baseball statistically isn't equal almost until the 70s. And why do I say the 70s? Because that's when you started to see bad black baseball players. The true equality is the equality to like the white man. That's really Martin Luther King's dream coming true. Is guys sucking. I watch the Oscars. Okay, these are the people that made the good movies. What about the people that made the bad movies? That's most of the industry. I want to be like that. Not that I want to be bad, but I want the license to be bad. Come back and learn.
So we're just gonna pick a few points to talk about it. We're not gonna spend too much time on it. One thing I want to point out is one of the well-known ways, especially in the black community, of knowing you're successful is when you live around a lot of white people.
Yeah, and you know what else is really interesting about what he was talking about, his neighborhood? He said that there are 4 black people in his neighborhood, and how all 4 of those black people are, 2 of them are Hall of Famers. One's one of the greatest R&B singers of all time, and he's a fantastic comedian, one of the most famous comedians of our time.
All entertainers.
Yes, all very successful black people. But his neighbor is pretty much a nobody. He's a dentist. He's just a white dude, and he's a dentist. Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't invent anything. He didn't change any game. He just was there. He was white, and he was there. That's essentially what it is. And how the fact that he calls it, the black experience, really drives home what it is to him. Black people essentially have to go through hoops, jump through fire, and do all this, and still be called bad. Which also draws me to my next point. Well, his next point that I wanted to bring up. He talks about how essentially Martin Luther King's dream and totally being equal amongst the races means that you can be bad at something in any race.
Yes.
As he was talking about,
the boxer.
Yeah, the boxer did knock this white boxer out.
But if you look at the scorecard,
he was losing all round, even though he was clearly winning.
Physically, every round, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just what it is. You can't be black and bad and have a lot of money. But that dentist that lives next to Chris Rock, he's probably not even the best dentist at all. He's just a dentist. But all the black people in that neighborhood have to be fantastic, have to be one of the best at it to even afford that type of lifestyle.
That trickles down to the average person. I mean, you ever go to play basketball with your friend and they expect you to be the best player on the team.
Yeah, because you're black. But if you're not good, then all of a sudden you're not
black enough.
Yeah, you
lose your black license.
There's a lot of things that just don't add up. One prime example, happening right now. Let's talk about President Obama for a minute. Obama is not a bad president at all. He's one of our best, I think. He's definitely one of the funniest. He's definitely one of the cool. I think he's the coolest.
I don't know if he's the. We have some pretty crazy.
Yeah, yes, but I think he's definitely one of the coolest.
Yeah,
and he's done a pretty great job at turning our economy and nation around. Mm-hmm. But he's done all this stuff, but yet he's still called a bad president. Like, how is that even a thing? If he was, definitely feel like if he was white, he would have. He
would be praised.
Yes, he would be praised for all the things that he's done. George Bush did 3 things for the nation the entire time, which wasn't much.
And he was the most hated president during the presidency.
Yeah, but he was still regarded as a good president.
Now
how is he a good president? But Obama is doing all this thing and cleaning up his mess and stuff like that, and he's still being called a bad president. How?
And think about it this way: if Michelle Obama was white and she started this healthy program, you think she would be getting as much shit as she gets for it today?
Yeah, it's such a controversy, and I don't know why people are fighting her over it. Yes, it radically changes the food system in schools and doing this, that, and the other thing. But definitely, if she was white, there would be more backing about it instead of fighting.
For anyone who doesn't believe us, TYT, the Young Turk, they pulled out statistical analysis, and what they did was they took the main idea of Obamacare and they wrote it on paper, and they said this person came up with this idea. They'll show Donald Trump or Chris Christie or other Republican candidate.
I don't even know. No one knows.
They'll lay out his name and say he came up with this idea of a universal health care program, and people were like, I love it. And then they'll put Democrats like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and Obama, and people were like, I hate it. And it's the same exact plan. So, to sit there and say he wouldn't be getting as much crap simply because he's black is false. We see this. We have studies backing it up. And, I mean, this is the black experience.
But, this isn't necessarily, an innate thing. It's not like people are necessarily doing it on purpose. No, they just truly believe this, but they don't necessarily know why they believe it.
Yeah.
Or they don't even realize that they feel this type of way until it's shown to them in a different way.
It's internalized.
That is called prejudice. And that's the difference. People always be like, oh, I'm not racist, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. And they think, oh, I don't discriminate against black people. I don't discriminate, I don't discriminate. But